What's up, y'all? What is good? Good afternoon. I am, of course, live because I have a update with the phone flipping price list, guys. I am currently getting everything situated. I want to first say what we're going to do is we will be talking about phone flipping today, and we will be talking also about reselling later on. I do have a few different lives planned, and now, guys, I have this new thing. I want to hear you guys give me some feedback on it. It is actually going to be a feature where I'm going to have you guys call in, and you guys can call in to talk to me, and that's exciting, right? Now, when will I do it and when will I initiate it? It will probably be towards like the end of the video. Can I actually do that? All right, cool. All right, bet. Because, again, we want to make sure that we get through the live first. But if you have any questions, definitely tune into my lives because I will be able to answer your questions live and direct. I think that is important because there's so many times that after a live, I'm getting questions via DM or via community. If you guys haven't already joined the community, the link is below. As well. Okay. The community is somewhere where, of course, we are hustling, we're grinding, but also I treat it as you guys are my students and I'm there, and I got a obligation to make sure that if you are feeling like you are lost or like you don't have a direction in something, whether it's a listing or whatever it could be, I'm here. I got your back like a broad strap. I don't ever want you guys to, question that, and I don't want you to feel alone. Now, I do want to address something before we get into this video. I want to address me having a conversation with somebody via text yesterday, and it was really interesting. And I wanted to bring it to this platform because I'm going to actually, I'll actually go ahead and should I read it? I think I should read it, right? So basically, this guy hit me up. Okay, this guy hit me up and he said drop ship. Okay. Now, you could text dropship to 445-500-9600. When you text it there, I'm going to answer. A lot of people don't know. I'm the one answering, okay? There's not nobody else answering. If I tell you to text me, I mean text me. Like, I'm responsible for it. You feel me? I'm not going to leave somebody else to be responsible for or take credit or mess up my relationship with you guys texting directly. So I'm texting this guy, and this guy is talking, and he is making and I'm just gonna say he's making it evident that he's very, very scared. Okay, he's very, very scared to invest in himself. Now, I'm not gonna blast this guy out. I don't think I'm gonna read his text messages just due to like decency, right? So I don't think I'm gonna do that. But what I am gonna do is I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened. So this person texted me, and he first off the rip was like, yo, are you trying to charge me for something? Do I have to pay to get information? That's what I think he said. He said, I just want to get information. Do I have to pay? And this was really interesting that he said that because one, if you're texting the phone dropship, then you're texting to basically get into trying to get products, right? So when he said like he's looking for information, I'm thinking to myself, well, that's why I got the YouTube, right? Now, y'all know if you have ever talked to me, you know that I'm very upfront. I'm very blunt. I'm not one to hold my tongue. I'm not one to, lead you on or anything. So I told him, I said, listen, bro, if you feel like you are trying to get information, then, I mean, great. You can go to YouTube. But if you're trying to take up any of my time, then yes, it's going to cost you. And I meant it. And I'll make that public service announcement, not because it's disrespect, but because I am a business, right? So you have to understand that when I take my time out to help or to do anything, right, it is essentially because I'm running a business. I don't do this for fun. This is actually something I do, right? So initially when he said that, I thought to myself, well, this person is interesting, right? This person is either not serious or he is somebody that's completely damaged. And what I mean by damaged is this person must have some type of problem when it comes to investing. He must have invested in the wrong place, wrong area, or maybe he just has a bad experience. And I sympathize with that, right? Because we've all had situations where we have, bad experiences. So I'm cool, right? So this person proceeds to go and he starts asking me questions like, how much, and this was an interesting question. He's like, how much can you guarantee me to make, basically? Like, how much profit am I going to make per product? And like at this point when he said that, I'm thinking to myself, so this person not only is scared to invest in himself, but he also is at the point, I guess, where he wants guarantees. And that's a dangerous place to be when you are a business owner or even just a reseller, right? Now, the reason why you wanting a guarantee is dangerous is because people that want guarantees typically are people that never last, because they, instead of believing in themselves, want to believe in results. So they are results driven instead of work driven, instead of execution based. They are result based. And what that means is, instead of focusing on the next step or the next foot forward, they're focusing on, all right, I'm going to make $500 at the end of the week so I can work less because the products are going to work for me. If your products are not selling, no matter what, you're the problem. I just want to make that clear. If your products are not selling, you're the problem. That's 100% facts, okay? That's 100% facts. If your products are not selling, you are the problem. It's not the product, bruh. Okay? Now, so I fast forward and I go and I'm like, yo, bro, listen, there's no guarantee when it comes to profit margin. I can't tell you how much profit margin you'll make each product without knowing what you price the products for, what you want to price the products for. I then can throw out a bunch of hypotheticals and say, hey, for this iPhone Type-C headphone, you can charge $11, which will get you at 30% profit margin. But that still would be unrealistic, and I would be blowing smoke up your pipe, right? So I told him it's no guarantee of any profit margin. And then next, what he says is, okay, I understand, but again, I've been scammed a lot. And y'all don't understand how many people I hear this from, like, oh, I've been scammed. I did this. I was in this group and that group. How can I say this? I'll just say it completely, honestly. It's your fault, right? If you're in a position to where you got scammed or finessed, that's your fault. Now, I want you guys to stick with me when I say that. I don't say that out of any malicious intent. What I say it out of is understanding that you made that mistake and be okay with it. Be understanding that you made a wrong decision, but it doesn't mean you need to stop making decisions, right? So let me give you an example. You make wrong choices in life on a daily basis, right? Every day we make choices that we could have made better, or we could have done something differently. We make bad choices, but we don't just jump up and say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to make any more choices today, right? Like, we still make choices. And see, that's the difference, is that people will always, I'm cautious with my words. People will make choices like, I'm going to go get my brakes done at the neighborhood mechanic, right outside that tire shop. And then when he do my brakes for the cheap amount, I'm going to be confident enough to drive around with those brakes. But when it comes to me buying products for me to sell, I'm not confident, because I'm actually the person that will be responsible if it doesn't work. That's why people have trouble actually investing in themselves, because they are scared that they are going to be the reason that they don't get the results. But understand, if you made the wrong choice, trusting the wrong person, that is a part of business. We all take losses. We all make wrong and bad decisions, but it does not mean that we need to become fearful, work, or operate in the survival mode category all the time, or even mean that we need to stop believing in ourselves. You are going to be frustrated. You're going to struggle. You're going to fail. You're going to lose money. That is a part of the journey. It's a part of the journey. Get over it. If the heat is too hot in this kitchen, get out the kitchen, bruh. And I'm not talking to that individual. I'm talking about in general, right? There's been so many times I bought products and the products were trash. I had this one distributor. I used to buy products from him all the time, and he used to always be like, yo, get this. This is the next hot product. Yo, get this. This is the next hot product. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I would go ahead and get it. But you want to know what happened? Every time I would get it, it wouldn't sell. You know how many products I got that won't sell? See, and that's the thing. Like, I talk about so many products that do sell on my videos, but I don't talk about the products that don't sell. You know how many times I done brought chargers that cost me over $20 and they don't sell? You know how many times I brought speakers and they didn't sell? Right? Those are failures, but that didn't stop me from investing in products in general, right? Like, I still tried to invest in products. I still tried to invest in that new thing. I still tried to go ahead and try another new product. Because those failures don't stop me. They just make me better, more aware. And also they teach me to ask better questions. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's how you should use failure. You should not use failure to feel like, okay, I just need to make sure I'm going to get a result this time. Because that's not how it works. That's not how it works. If you are trying to become more, if you're trying to become more of a execution based individual, I'll say, right? That means that you need to make sure that you are prioritizing execution over just making impulsive decisions. And I'll tell you guys, before we get into this phone stuff, I'm sorry, but I gotta talk what's on my mind. I'm not all about just trying to be educational, right? I think there's a lesson in everything, but like, a lot of you guys are impulsive when you go on YouTube and then you start searching up how to make money, or you search up how to drop ship, or you search up all of these things. You're doing that, and I'm not sure if you know, but that's all impulse. It's based upon what you are thinking may work. There's no real straight pathway for you to become successful drop shipping, but a lot of people search it up, a lot of people utilize it, and a lot of people fall for it, and then they become broke because they invest all their money in extensions and all of these courses and things from these people that have Mercedes Benzes and G-Wagons and Teslas, and they make you think and buy into a dream of them having things that you want, so you automatically think that you could do it, and that's not always the case. The things that I do, you may not be able to do. You may not be willing to take and sacrifice the things that I've been willing to take and sacrifice. You might not be willing to go ahead and do those things. That's the difference. All right, so let's start talking about some phone flipping, guys. Just remember, from that conversation, what I'm looking for you guys to understand is just invest in yourself, bro. I'm not talking about with me. Like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm talking about invest your time. I'm talking about invest failure. Like be okay with failure. I'm talking about go to AliExpress or Alibaba or wherever you're going to buy your products and invest. Invest in something. If you're not investing in anything, then what are you doing? You are living life boring. You living life talking about, I gotta put money in my savings. That's stupid. All right, let's get into phone flipping. All right, so now I do have this. So again, if you guys want, when I go to the screen, I will be putting this up. Call me. So you guys, if you have any type of questions, you can call in and we'll talk, okay? And we will go over any type of issues that you may have, or any questions that you have, and we'll be trying this out this week, okay? All right, so now when it comes to this, we want to talk first about iPhone 16s. This is actually a newer price list. As you guys see, it's a little dull because I don't know why, but they don't be sending quality price lists sometimes. But this is actually a raw price list. This is a price list that has just been sent, okay? So we're going to look at these prices, and I'm going to tell you guys, this is the first time I'm actually seeing this price list. I'm going to tell you guys what I think, okay? And then we'll hopefully be able to use this price list to make some offers on OfferUp, okay? So, and then we'll go over some blacklisted prices too. So iPhone 16 Pro Max locked. We see that as plus 10 for white. So what that shows me is that the color white is in high demand. So would I prioritize getting white? No. All right. This does not make me like, oh, I need to get the white one. Like, that doesn't make me do that. Okay. It doesn't really move the needle in my opinion. It is what it is, right? Like, if white is one of those $10 extra phones, I don't even like put that into play. Like, I don't, when I'm making negotiations, I'm not thinking, oh, okay, let me add $10. No, I just add like it's not there, because that can change by the day, right? So one day is plus 10 white, next day it ain't. If you buy a phone because you thought you was counting on that $10, you screwed, okay? But I would never buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256 locked right now currently. Reason is it's too much money up front. And I'll tell you guys this all the time, but you got to weigh your options and also understand your investment. So if you're looking at an iPhone 16 Pro Max 256, let's say, you see sealed, non-activated is $705, activated $705, no box $675. Now, why is this a phone I wouldn't buy? Because if I go onto a platform such as OfferUp, right, and I look for an iPhone 16 Pro Max, I'm sure that they're going to like this. This is a scam right here, obviously. 1 terabyte. That's one of the most cloned iPhone 16s there is. But I am looking for a legitimate one. Okay, so let's say this one right here. This iPhone 16 Pro Max is actually used, so it wouldn't even work with this price list that we're looking at right now, because these are all used phones and locked phones. No, these are new phones, excuse me, not used phones, but this is a used phone. But you got to really look and see, like, why would I even kick out $600 or $700 for one device when I could use that money to get multiple iPhone 14s or multiple 15s, right? So that's why I wouldn't buy 16s at all. 16 Pro Maxes. I will buy 16s, and I'll go over that in a second. Okay, so the iPhone 16 Pro, the 128 is $535 sealed, same activated, and 505 with the headset only. So again, I still don't want to buy that. I still wouldn't buy that, because my rule of thumb, and this doesn't have to be yours, is that I repeat, I do not buy or flip phones if the phone is over $500. Now, I used to, but what changed was me actually seeing that if I did kick out this bread, I'm still getting the same amount of profit for the most part that I would be if I only paid the $200 I needed to get the iPhone 16e, right? Like, I'm still going to make bread no matter what. I'm actually essentially making the same amount of profit no matter what I offer, okay? So the phone that I see on this price list that I actually would invest in is the iPhone 16. So the iPhone 16 right now market value is $390. So if the market value is $390, if we whip out our calculator, we can already tell what our ceiling offer would be. If you don't know what a ceiling offer is, it is the offer that you would actually not go over if you're negotiating, okay? Now, speaking of that, I got to plug myself in because, again, I did not tell you guys yet, but you'll be seeing it. We have the Phone Flipping Academy that has just opened and started to enroll. Now, the Phone Flipping Academy is actually going to be called the Live Phone Flipping Academy, not the Phone Flipping 101. This is not a live academy. This is just it's basically a course. This is the academy, right? Now, this is 4 weeks of live mentorships and classes with me with phone flipping. This tells you everything that you get. We will be meeting every single week. I will teach you everything from phone flipping from the beginning to the end, how to build the LLC, how to contribute, how to use your change fund, how to put your money in your bank, how to make sure that you are structuring your business correctly, and most importantly, how to scale. All right. Very important. Okay, I'm excited about that. Now, when it comes to this, again, we will go and try to get the iPhone 16. Obviously, we see market value is $390. Okay, great. Now, from that $390, we already know that we have to subtract whatever we're looking for our profit to be. So $390 minus what we want our profit to be, let's say $50. So we know our selling price is going to be $340. So that means when I go and offer up, I don't want to go over $340. I really don't want to go over $300, but $340 is a definitely non-negotiable. Okay. Now, the reason I didn't say I would buy the iPhone 16e is because while the iPhone 16e is a fairly new phone, it's also a phone that is not that popular. And also, people view that phone to be way more valuable than what it actually is. I don't like phones where people view it to be valuable, but in reality, it's not. Because then I got to do more negotiating. I got to try to talk somebody down. Now, I will tell you, the times I did buy iPhone 16es, it was usually in a bundle. So it was usually when somebody has 6 of them, or somebody has 3 of them, or 4. Like, that's when people were selling it to me. But if they were selling just one 16e and I told them I could do 150, they usually be like, oh, no, 150, no, right? Because they deem that phone to be valuable, and it's not, right? It's just a lower, dimmer iPhone 16, okay? All right, and then 15 Pro Max and the 15 Pro. I wouldn't even really worry about those two. The 15 Pro is pretty good, though, okay? Now, the 15 Plus, that is a good phone to buy and flip if you can. Now, the reason you would flip this would not be to sell to a buyer. It would just be to sell to a consumer. A buyer's paying $340, which means our selling price would have to be $290. So that means we can't go over $290. So would somebody realistically sell us an iPhone 15 Plus for $290? They should. Would they? Right? All right. Now, iCloud lock / well, we're just going to do activation lock for right now. If you don't know what activation lock is, that is going to be when there is a iCloud on that device when you are trying to activate it, where it just won't activate. Okay. It's also one of those errors that you get when you're trying to activate a phone that may potentially be lost or stolen. So let's just go through the grades. You got A, B grade. That is going to be the grade that we want to deal with. We don't want to deal with C or D grade, bad L, C, D. We want to deal with A, B grade. Okay. Now, the reason is because A, B grade is the easiest one to obtain. Okay. Oh, what's up? Armor, is this only with iPhones? Hello, can you answer the question? Sorry, the questions are popping up a little slow. I'm sorry. My fault. So, are they with iPhones only? Yes, right now, this is with iPhones only. Let me try to get it so that it's showing me. My fault, Armor. I really do apologize. But yes, they're for iPhones only right now. But we should have some Androids coming up. So when it comes to iCloud activation locked, we want to deal with AB grade. Now the AB grade is going to be a phone that is lightly scratched, but nothing that's crazy damaged. Okay. The iPhone 12 mini, $30, all the way up to the iPhone 12. Now, the iPhone 12 Pro is $60, iPhone 12 Pro Max, $90, iPhone 13 mini, iPhone 13, $60, iPhone 13 Pro, $120, iPhone 13 Pro Max, $140, iPhone 14, $700, iPhone 14 Plus, $800, iPhone 14 Pro, $160, Pro Max, 14, $240, 15, $120, 15 Plus, $120, 15 Pro, $220, 15 Pro Max, $300, iPhone 16e, $80. What the heck? iPhone 16, $200, iPhone 16 Plus, $210, iPhone 16 Pro, $290, and iPhone 16 Pro Max, $420. Now, what does this mean? So, if somebody was to find a phone on a bus, or if they were to just find a device that basically is not able to sign in because of the iCloud, you sell it to us or you sell it to the buyers, you are able to get this and just cash out. So what phone is mostly obtainable? I would definitely say the 14s and the 15s. Now 15s, I definitely would try to get. The base model phones are the phones I would try to get. All base models. So if you see like an iPhone 16, 15, or 14, those are going to be the phones that seem to be iCloud locked. So let's see if we can find anything that is activation locked real quick. Let's see. iPhone, iCloud. Right? So we see a success. We see a 14 plus. No, that's not it. So this is like one. Oh no, I keep saying read description. All right. So this is iCloud lock. So this is an iPhone 14 product red. Now he's saying he wants 225. Now let me explain to you why I would definitely say that getting a iPhone that is iCloud locked is one of the best case scenarios. Because when you get a phone that's iCloud locked, you literally have the leverage. They need you, okay? They need you to buy the phone. Because ain't nobody buying that phone just walking around, right? Like, they need that phone gone, I'm sure. And the longer you sit on it, the less valuable it is. Also, what I like to tell my sellers is if they don't want to sell it to me, I'll be like, all right, bro, like, let me just let you know, the longer you have it, the more chance somebody going to report that thing stolen and the cops are going to come after you, bro. Like, I'll even put that in their head and they become panicked and they sell it to me. So, yeah. So, we see the iPhone 14 product red, which is one of the worst colors to actually flip. And we're able to go 14, so that's $70. So, I probably would offer like $50 to be reasonable. He probably won't take that, and we'll just let him sit because there's no way he's getting $200 something for that. All right. Now these are going to be like the lower ones, okay? And these are going to be actually just iCloud lock. So these are not activation. These are just iCloud. So as you see, it's very similar to the prices we just saw. I think it really is the same thing. Now it shows you like the 11s and all of that, but these are not any money really. Like that's like right here. I'm sorry guys, they're not no money right here. You feel me? They're not no money. I personally would not go and try to buy a iPhone locked or iCloud locked X or XS or XR, right? Yo, the XS Max used to be that phone, bro. I used to love that phone. All right, so here come iPads. So I'm just gonna let y'all see what the iPads is working with. Now, the reason I'm not touching on the iPads, it's not worth it. I think that a used iPad is one of the worst buys. I've learned that because I've kept repeatedly trying to actually buy iPads, and every time I brought an iPad, the flip went wrong or the money just didn't add up. So I don't really talk about flipping iPads like that. I might make some videos for that in a little bit. All right. So now with that said, we could do some offers and then we'll get up out of here. I will do a reselling live later. All right. So look at this right here, right? Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you. iPhone 11 $45 is crazy, right? iPhone Pro Max 15 crazy, 200. Like, just look at all of the offers right here. They tell you a lot. A lot of these people are just scamming. Okay, and then you have people. What's this? So he's selling for parts. $200 is crazy. He's ridiculous. I'm finna take me a nap, bruh. I've been up so long. I am tired. Damn, Gina. Wow. It just hit me. It's these lights on me. Woo. All right, iPhone 15 Pro. No cracks. So 15 Pro. Don't we have the prices right here? Oh, that's new. I can do 350. No box, right? Let's try to get this ball rolling. And I'll just browse, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I just browse, look at it. See, I would never get this. 512 is crazy. I'm just looking, guys. Don't mind me. Damn, like they don't really have much. Fully unlocked. Seattle, Washington. The thing says Seattle, Washington. They said the Bronx. Yeah, we getting out of our range. And see, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of phones are just, they don't be listing the phones early in the week. Look at this. Don't be this guy. It's too desperate. People probably do hit him up, but he doesn't know how to close leads, obviously. If you got to do that, you're not getting enough phones. Ooh. 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 So let's look. iPhone. I am tired. 16. So we're looking at 390. Why would he price this at 700? So I'd be like, I can do 300. So we know that the market value is 390. We'll probably go up another 20 if he negotiates us, but that's it. We're not going to do too much. We're not going to do too much because I don't know. I just don't like the picture. I feel like it's scammy. What y'all think? I think it's scammy. I think it's scammy. But all right, we'll wait until a little later then. Well, let's let people put some more phones on here because it ain't much on here. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll be live in a little bit, and we will commence and continue going over some things. We'll go over phone flipping a little bit, but also product reselling. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See y'all later. Have a great day. All right, y'all, I'm out like a light. Oh, I got tired. Real tired.